Before I begin my sermon, I'd like to read a True Parents' words. This is from True Father's Speech, 300, volume number 42, page 224. But this is not official translation. Enemy is not someone that is in the outside world. An enemy is inside oneself. In the Bible, it says, "No one has greater than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." John chapter 15, verse 13. What does this say? If one sacrifices one's life for no reason, how can that be considered a great love? However, sacrificing one's life for one's friend, devoting one's whole mind on top of one's life, thinking that there is nothing more important than saving the friend, that is considered a great love. The love comes from one's thought that one will give up one's life and feel the pain of death for the friend. If one just dies for someone else without sincerity for thinking, is that love? Is sacrifice lacking a true heart and devotion, especially if it is done for oneself, then that is worthless. To the proposed question, why did you give up your life for your friend? If one answers that it was for one's own salvation, then that person will not be allowed into heaven. One says that one has sacrificed one's life for one's friend. However, ultimately, one has used one's friend to go to heaven. Therefore, that person will not be able to go to heaven. There are many martyrs in the spirit world. Among them, those who thought, "I will be able to go to heaven with Christ through this death," will not be able to go to heaven. On the other hand, those other martyrs who thought, because the venerable and honorable one has sacrificed his life for me, I am his body, his flesh, and his blood. Therefore, with his death, I should die and come to life again along with his life. Because I'm one with him, I should follow his path. I should not die for myself, but die for all the people, as he has done, will automatically go to heaven, even if someone tells them not to. It is a simple problem. The problem gets separated here. The question of is it love or is it not is being distinguished here. Amen? 아주. Good morning, everyone. 여러분 안녕하세요. 미나상 오하요 고자이마스. Buenos dias. Thank you. Thank you. Today, as you know, right after today's Sunday service, we are going to have Hyoji님's memorial concert. As you know, Hyojinim ascended in year 2008. Coming March 7 is the real date of his ascension. So even though it is such a short time, Hyojinim lived a very intense life, like fire. He left a lot of unforgettable memories and also songs to us. I want us to inherit his spirit of filial piety toward God and true parents. Please enjoy the concert after this service. Today, I'd like to share some word with you on the title of The Difference Between Liking and Loving. As you know, human being cannot live without love, even for a moment. When you look at the Chinese character, could you show me the picture? Yeah. When you look at this Chinese character, yin, it means a human being. But some people say that it symbolized the two people are leaning against each other. That is, we cannot survive alone. No friends, no parents, no brothers and sisters, no children, no spouse, no relatives, no neighbors, just myself. Can you imagine? If I stay in a deserted island in order to survive, at least I need an object partner to solve my loneliness. Animals, plants, whatever. As for prisoners, do you know what the most horrible punishment is, apart from the death penalty? Yes, that is solitary confinement, right? You know, a death penalty is the last resort. Then, what's the reason? Because human being cannot survive alone, even for a moment. What does it happen? Because the motivation of God's creation is love, true love. God created this universe in accordance with a principle of creation, and God wanted to manage it with love. That means love is not a matter of choice, but a foundation of our existence. In that sense, we can exist and multiply through only love. Originally, love did not have any other name except love itself. But because human being was derailed from the way of principle during the growth period, false love sprang up. So, in order to distinguish between love and false love, we cannot help but add a new word, true, ahead of love. Theoretically, the difference between the two is very clear. But in reality, when we experience all kinds of love in our life, it is very difficult and complicated to distinguish between true love and a false love, depending on the situation. Apparently, it looks righteous and true, but it is only a mask of truth and righteousness in many cases. Brothers and sisters, when we look at the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, or even the mineral world, we can understand that they also have love as the foundation of their existence. Of course, they have totally a different level of love from that of human being. Therefore, love within the animal kingdom is always decided by certain external factors, regardless of their free will and emotion. For example, the mating season. The mating season is gone. The animal, they don't multiply, right? According to some scientists, human beings also have mating seasons, but it is just hidden compared with other animals. But I'm sure you will agree that only human beings have the freedom to choose one's love in accordance with one's free will and emotion, regardless of their environmental conditions. Am I right? Yeah. But at least as a God's absolute object partner, if human beings can be influenced by external factors, they are not qualified to be the Lord of all creation, to subjugate this world. Therefore, only human beings who take after God inherit God's creativity and eternity. In our life of faith, we can experience a lot of loves, vertically and horizontally. But love is not exclusive possession for religious people. Even in the secular world, one of the most frequently used words will be love. If we omit themes of love in the movies, popular songs, and literature, I'm sure nothing is left. Can you imagine? Without love, what kind of story can be attractive in the movies and novels? It's going to be too dry and monotonous. Brothers and sisters, in our daily life, we use these two words, to like and to love, irrespectively. Apparently, they have only some difference of nuance. That is, to love means to like very much. Then, what on earth is the difference between I like you and I love you? To like is a taste or a preference of the subject and another expression of simple friendship. But to love is far beyond a taste or a preference of the subject and simple friendship. It feels something more serious and honest. Then, is to love a synonym with to like very much? What do you think about it? In conclusion, to like and to love are not a matter of degree, but that of level. Yes, they have totally different levels in their motivation and content. That is, to like means I am the subject and I am the center because I need and want it, I like it. But to love means I'm not the center, but you are the one. Not because I just need you, but also because you need me. I love you. To love means when I look at your delight and happiness, I feel joy and satisfaction. You know, many people raise a pet. For example, dog, cat, aquarium fish, hamster, etc. They say, I love my pet. I love my dog. I love my cat. I love my hamster. But for their own convenience sake, they neuter their pets. And sometimes they make them have vocal cord surgery to block noise. Is this love? Or just my preference? If we were in the pet's shoes, would we be happy with these treatments? I don't know. One of the Chinese Taoist classics, Zhangzi, there is a very interesting parables. One day, Zhangzi walked along the way in the mountain, and he met a lumberjack who was complaining to a crooked tree thick with leaves and branches. He said, "Oh, this tree is useless. If it is straight, then I can cut it down and I can make a beautiful building, wonderful building, and furniture. But these crooked trees, a lot of leaves, but there are a lot of branches, useless." But Zhangzi replied, "Because of the uselessness, this tree can live out its allotted span of life. Well, which one is useful or useless? It only seems useless from the viewpoint of human being. But for the tree, because of the uselessness, it could avoid being cut down. We like the tree for our own benefit, but not for the tree itself." Brothers and sisters, true Father said, true love means to put everything and to forget it. Why do parents sacrifice a lot of things for their children? Do they expect some help from their children when they are old in the future? They are calculating, "Oh, I spent this much. Later, when I get old, you have to pay back this." No, absolutely not. They find themselves worth living whenever they look at their children's growing with their love and protection. In the secular world, many people say, "I love only you." This word will be quite right, presupposing the relationship between man and woman. What is true love? True love means to love all the people and things that you love. I love you, but not your parents. I love you, but not your brothers and sisters. I love only you. I need only you. I want to live with only you. I love only you. It sounds so plausible and looks nice. But this is totally wrong. If I truly love my wife, I should love the parents and brothers and sisters who she loves. Right? If I truly love my husband, I should love his relatives who he loves. In Korea, sometimes the relationship between wife and mother-in-law is very serious. How about America? Almost same? Oh yeah, I think it's the same. You know? Traditionally, in Korea, the first son should attend his parents and live together with them. You know, living together is not simple. Without sacrificing each other and considering the feelings of others, nobody can live together. Because it is very easy to hurt each other. Why young generation, they like a nuclear family, not big family? Because that's more convenient and comfortable, right? They don't have to think about any other things. You know, oh, if I attended parents and other brothers, you know, then without having them, I can, wear just only the underwear, and I can, back and forth, right? No problem, right? But in front of parents and with others, how can I do that? See, it's very uncomfortable. Also, I have to consider many, many things. If I said some, some words can hurt their feelings, right? I have to consider many, many things. Oh, it's very complicated. After I got blessed, my wife and I was mobilized in a COPS center for 3 years in accordance with a True Parents direction. And then my wife started married life at my home with my parents. At first, she could not adapt herself to these new circumstances. My family has patriarchal and a Confucius background, but my wife had more democratic and Christian background. Of course, both of them are blessed families and have deep understanding of the Unification Church tradition. You know, even though they are the same unificationists, each family has some different background and atmosphere, right? Yes. So, in the beginning, she always compared her situation with that of her family. Sometimes she shed tears and complained to me, "I don't understand this family atmosphere. It's too different from my family." Of course. Brothers and sisters, do you know who, in this case, is in the most difficult position? A poor man between the two women. One is my mother, and the other one is my lovely wife. Oh my God. What should I do? Whom should I side with? My mother or my wife? Actually, my mother gave me some warning before she received her daughter-in-law. No matter what the situation is, don't interfere between me and your wife. This is a training period for her. So, your involvement wouldn't help improve the relationship between me and your wife at all. Oh my gosh. Because of that, even though I saw her difficulty, I had to turn my back and pretended not to see my wife in front of my mother. Sorry. As time goes by, my wife came to understand my mother's heart and love step by step. Anyway, after my wife's 3-year training course, I got a new mission as a COP leader. So I had to move in to the COP center with my family. So I had to move. I moved all my stuffs and belongings to the COP center. That day, my parents looked around the COP center from place to place and then left. My wife and I were out of the center to see them off. But when I came in the center, I realized that my wife didn't follow me. Where is she? Amazingly, she was still standing there outside with tears, looking at the empty place which my parents left. Are you crying? What happened? She said, "I don't know. I felt something as if my parents-in-law left me alone." Ooh. At the time, I came to realize that she became a real member of my family, not just a mere guest. Now, my mother always praises my wife. "My first daughter-in-law is the best." Other younger daughters-in-law have to follow her. Brothers and sisters, according to true parents, without sacrifice and changsung, nothing can be true love. And also, true love has no specific reason. Having some specific reason means possibility, expecting a profit after my sacrifice and service. True parents said, Why did you give up your life for your friend? If one answers that it was for one's own salvation, then that person will not be allowed in heaven. Because ultimately, one has used one's friend to go to heaven. Then likewise, why are we willing to sacrifice everything for God and true parents? For our salvation? Not because to like them, but to love them. Even the Bible says about only love, not so much liking. Brothers and sisters, just ask other people, are you satisfied with your present life? Then most of them will answer yes or no. Yes or no? Why? The reason is that they try to satisfy themselves with relative things. Because animals have only relative values, they will be satisfied with the relative environment. But because human beings have absolute values, they cannot be satisfied with only relative things. Originally, they were created like that by God. That is, infinite soul of human beings cannot be filled with limited environment. Sometimes people envy others' richness. But once they obtain it, and the moment they put it in their pot of soul, part of soul, it occupies just a corner of it. That's why people soon feel emptiness and void in their heart. Still they are hungry. Still they are hungry. Brothers and sisters, we live for love, true love, not for relative environment. The ultimate way is not to like, but to love. I love you. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Please join me in prayer. 사랑이 많으신 하늘 부모님, 거룩하신 천지인 참 부모님, the most beloved heavenly parent and holy true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, thank you so much for allowing us to experience God and true parents' love. Today, we shared about the difference between liking and loving. God created this universe in accordance with the principle of creation, and He wanted to manage it with a true love. Heavenly Parent, we are born in love. We are growing in love. And even we want to complete our physical life in love, true love. Even though we are talking about love all day long, we know it's easier said than done. We want to learn how to practice true love for my family, friends, and neighbors. Please give us your wisdom and make us separate self-centered thinking from our love. Please bless all the brothers and sisters here and even who cannot come due to their sickness and personal issues. Today, we want to have Hyojinim's memorial concerts right after Sunday service. Please lead us and be with us. We want to offer our comfort, Hyojinim's sacrifice, and we want to inherit his spirit of filial piety toward a God and true parent. Thank you so much again. I'm offering this report in the name of Yang Teng Yang and Chung Juyang, a blessed family. Aju.
Thank you. Amen. Let's give another hand for our senior pastor.